money, so they need to make money. So that's just it. But the creative is not the one spending money. So even when you meet investors and they give you the money to make film, you are interested in, okay, how do I make? But still the industry. I think at this point right now we're trying to balance between that creative part and the marketing part, and I think we are successfully doing it.
So is there a particular film in mind? You think you are successfully doing that. So is there a particular film, one or two, that is pointing to what you just said?
Yeah, there are lots of them.
One or two can
Tokumbo, Living in Bondage, Jago Jago, King of Boys.
True.
I'm calling big budget films because they're the ones that come to mind. I think they've understood, there is a market, and that market is, they used streamers, for example. They pitched this to streamers, and these streamers like Netflix got excited about this project, the potential of this project, and they're interested in purchasing this project. So it makes sense. So whenever they're bringing out their money to do the project, they know, it's going to be creative, and we are going to make our money back. So it balances it off for everybody. So everybody goes home happy at the end of the day.
So they are certain.
Yeah.
So in what ways exactly would you say that Nollywood has helped to sustain African cultural beliefs and values?
Okay. Nollywood sustaining African cultural beliefs and values. Maybe for the Westerners, when I mean the Western part of Nigeria.
Okay.
Yes. Maybe for the Northerners, yes. Why I said Westerners, Western part of Nigeria, is you can comfortably think about a Yoruba film now. Like, I can give you 5 minutes, you can comfortably write down 5 big budget Yoruba films right now that you've seen, and they show the Yoruba culture, and they show their culture and tradition. You can maybe think of an Hausa one, even though they're not really
so popular
into film, but they have their stars, Adam Zango and the rest, and they know these guys, they show them their culture. But for the Igbo businessman, for the Southerners, we are all about it's business. So whatever is working at per given time, we dive into it. So I don't think we've touched a bit of the Igbo culture in film.
What areas are still missing?
Have you seen a film about ENUGU? I think the only thing we saw in film growing up was August Meeting. That they did and you remember August Meeting? They finished every story about August Meeting. Like, we saw it, we saw Mama G, we saw yes, we saw the stories of August Meeting. I think we also saw the Iwanko.
Yes.
Even though they didn't show us the cultural aspect of Iwanko, but we saw those bits. But we've not seen Iriji. There are things that are particular to, as much as the Igbo is a tribe, there are different states, there are different communities. Each community has something they're known for. Every community has a festival that their community, their Mong festival. How many films have we seen that talks about the Mong, that tells us about the Mong? Or the coming of age. In my village, there is this coming of age ceremony that they do for ladies. Once you get to a particular age. For you to the lady kindred, like it's for the ladies, for young girls, there is a ceremony you must do to introduce you into that clan, into that particular cult. I'll call it a cult, but then it's not like it's a cult. It's what it's actually, if you read
age grade.
Age grade. You read The African Child, Kamara Lai, I think is one of my favorite books. When he talked about how when it was time for him to become an adult, a man, the dad had to let him they initiate him into that thing. And it's a culture for them in Senegal or Gambia. In Nigeria, we have, in Igbo land, we have it. I'm sure most of our villages have some kind of culture, but how many of us know about them? How many of us have seen it in films?
And we don't tell them in stories. Are you saying that no one has replicated the Iriji that we read in Things Fall Apart? I remember the picture that Chinua Achebe painted of the yam mound that was large enough that you wouldn't be able to see someone across the table, except at the time that the mound went down. So are you saying that we have not actually replicated that, even if in passing, like Ibanko?
It's possible that we have.
But you're actually looking forward to.
When I talk about August Meeting, a picture comes to you, must have seen
women gathered, yes.
Okay. There is no how you deny that you didn't see a film about the August meeting while growing up. We saw the plot, like it made us know that during August, women are supposed to come down for a particular meeting. We don't know what they're doing in the meeting, but we know that there is a meeting. So I don't, if it has been shown the way these other ones have been shown, I think it should also be something we talk about. I feel it's something.
But if we show all of this cultural, in fact, we tell our stories and reflect our identities in films, what effect do you think that will have on society? We are talking about reorientation.
I think it's because right now, I wake up in the morning. Let's say I go to my house. I greet my dad. Good morning, sir. In the night, good evening, sir. In the West, the Westerners, they don't...
Southwest Nigeria.
Now, if you tell an Igbo man to translate it to Igbo, Otutoma, is Otutoma good morning? It's funny because we don't even know what Otutoma is again. We don't know what good morning is for the Igbo man again. I think it's Salachi. That's what you're supposed to tell someone in the morning. And we've lost this. We are losing bits and bits and bits. But maybe next 10 years, we don't even know what Maz. Many people don't use Maz again. If you call someone Maz, we will like Kayena Bomifa. We are now sticking to the ones that we commonly use. Our culture. It's through films that we tend to, because there's a film you see. Believe me, there's a film you see, and you see something that someone does in that film or particular thing they call, and be like, oh, what is this? Let me go and check. Google is always our friend. We go and check. Oh, so this is what this is. Like the film Apocalypse. The guy created an entire language for film. If you've seen Apocalypse, like he created an entire language for film, a language that has never been existent. The same guy that shot The Passion of Christ is one that made Apocalypse. It's a very beautiful story. It's a story I watched, and I don't know, but I know it talked about the South American, the Aztecs, AZTEC. So it's called Maya culture. So it told their story to an extent, and then it infused different languages into it. The same way CJ Obasi did with Mami Water, told a story about some parts of West Africa that we don't even know. So I feel like as Igbo people, I feel as the film has this roots that if we don't tell our stories, if we don't tell it, we'll be losing them day by day. Like we need to, as much as like I tell stories from a personal point of view, things that I faced while growing up, challenges I faced, things I've experienced, things that have happened to me, things that have happened to my friend. Like recently I shot a film called Kachizo. This is a short film. It's about a story of kidnap. It happened to my friend and my youngest, some other people I know. I was like, oh, what do I need to do? Because this is where it comes to me now. What can I do? The best thing I could do is just to shoot a film, make a film about it. So people say, oh, this is what happens. It's not yet out. It's still on film festivals and all. So but it's a short film. So but then that is what I feel a filmmaker should do.
Okay, so talking about streaming platforms, so to what extent does streaming platforms like Netflix and the rest of them democratize access to social transformative films?
I think the truth is this: the international community, the global community, cares so much about our stories more than we care about them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You can't be more American than the American man. You can't come and be speaking. What? Like, are you going to be more American than
No,
them?
you can never.
There is no how our football leagues could get as big as the
foreign leagues.
Yes. UK, England, where it started, as an example. It can't get as big. I don't know that it can get big, but if it gets big, it's going to be within our own circle. It's like when I talk about Hollywood. Hollywood is like this. Hollywood is them to the world. That's it. A Hollywood film comes out, a big Hollywood studio film comes out, they're distributing the film to the entire world, to China, to any country that has access to Hollywood. What I mean access, like show their films. It's showing in our cinemas. That's why you go to cinema and you see, oh, this Hollywood film is showing. Go to Tokyo, go to Hollywood, go to America. How many of our films do we distribute to our cinema and it's showing there? We're already using, it's called one not like this. Because we can't show them our films.
But they show us
theater. But we lobby to want to see their films. Like during the vogue of the Indian films, India took over the whole space. Everybody was Jamina and the rest of them. They took over the space with their music, their film and everything, and it was at that point they were winning the world because they had access to, but we can't do that. That's why to us it's the TV culture that came into play that helped us start telling our stories to TV drama. So now with Netflix, with the streaming platform, we have access to a global community. We can show our films, we can make them here, and it goes global. Like even with YouTube also, it works on YouTube. But YouTube is limited. It depends on your fan base, your subscribers.
Oh, really?
But YouTube, Netflix is, as far as Netflix is on anybody's phone, they will just go, oh, what film is showing on Netflix? Tell them, go search this film on Netflix. They will just go search the film
and
on
it's
Netflix.
always there.
And it's there. But YouTube, you will see a lot of junk, whatnot. Or you have to go to subscribe to that person's channel before you now have access to their content or whatnot. But then with the streamers, their Prime Videos, the Netflix, the Apple TV, you just go and you see, and it's there and it's global.
We shall return to the new media, but there's something I'd like us to talk about, and that's sensitive stories.
Okay.
In trying to keep up with or navigate your ethical values in film production, I don't know if there are dilemmas while you are trying to live up to responsibility towards your audience, but how should controversial issues be tackled during filmmaking?
Okay, as a news reporter, something happens. How do you report it?
Strike a balance.
Strike a balance. That's
and be unbiased.
You have to be unbiased in film also. You need to tell your story from the point of view that the person that it happened to knows, oh, this is my story. The person that it has not happened to feels what it feels like to be in that person's story, because no matter how much we put it in words, filmmaking is storytelling, and storytelling from a human's point of view. That's why film comes out, and that's why people blush about film. Like, people can watch a film and, oh, that you've not seen that guy, but you fell in love with someone you've seen on screen. Like, it's actually common with Korean films where, funny, they speak Korean in their film. They speak their names are not English names. How many times have you seen a Korean film and the guy's name is an English?
Really? Almost.
And yet everybody is, because of what? Simple storytelling. They have understood the market and they are pushing it, they are strategically promoting it. I'm actually a fan of, let me do a film, because if there are films you download, you go and look for their subtitle. Even English film, you go and look for subtitles so you can watch.
And keep
they are speaking English, but you want to be reading. So Korean films is now common for Korean film. Everybody you cannot watch a Korean film without a subtitle. Some people even watch, I think in the days of Indian films, they watch Indian films without subtitles. You just be looking at them.
But somehow you
know what they are doing. So why can't we just, can I swear Igbo in a film? Let's speak our Igbo. Like my boss will always say, let's put our Igbo there, let's speak it. And Igbo is sweet. Like, the funny thing about Igbo is, if you go to a different part, there is an Abakaliki Igbo, there's an Owerri Igbo, there's an ENUGU Igbo, there's an Anambra Igbo. I think when I moved to Owerri for the first time, and I speak my ENUGU Igbo, they'll be like, oh, the kids say Anambra. I say, I know. So it makes sense. It's exciting to hear. But is it that we are ashamed of that particular language or words? So I think we need to, as much as we need to strike a balance around all those things, but then we should tell our stories the best way we can.
Which controversial story do you really admire in film?
I think I've not seen The Black Book. So I've not seen The Black Book.
Is it a Nigerian production?
It's a Nigerian film.
Oh, really?
I think it was his director's debut, but I read about films before I even watch them.
Okay.
I read the synopsis, understand, oh, what the story is trying to tell. Because film for me is an immersive experience. I have to be in a mental mood to watch. I don't just bring
it's not entertainment to you, right?
Yeah, yes, I could do it for entertainment.
Okay.
But particular films, I have to be in the mood. I have to immerse myself in that mood, or find a way to put my, because I'm coming here to learn. For me, film is a learning experience. Every film I see is an opportunity for me to learn something, because I'm a filmmaker and these guys are filmmakers, so they have something that I need to learn from them. So I'm always, oh, wow, interesting. Wow, this is how this actor approached this. This is how they did. Oh, it's an interesting experience for me. Like, I have a lot of shows I can binge watch. Like, I have a particular show that I've watched over 10 times. When I say a show, it's not 1 hour, 30 minutes film. It's over 20 hours. It's a series. I think I call it my favorite series. It's called The OC. It's not that popular. The OC. It was, I think what connected me to the story is the writer at that point, he was just 23 or so. So he just wrote something, pitched it to studios. There's actually a story about him, his growing up days in New York before moving to California, trying to balance life and all. So it's a story about him that he was, and that, like, what excited me is, oh, this guy is young. He was able to understand, oh, I can tell a story about my life. And the story is interesting because people forget it. That's why we sit down and watch Big Brother Niger. What I watch, they're not even telling me in their story. Their life in the street is more exciting than what they do in the house. But people will sit down
and be watching.
So people's stories are what makes everything you've seen are actually people's stories.
Okay.
From the best films you've seen.
Okay. So how does censorship particularly affect the ability of films to challenge social norms and promote reorientation?
Okay, censors board, like, in censorship helps a lot because there are certain things the government might be, because every country, every nation has a governing body, has a body that decide what goes. Nigeria operates the federal government system of government. So, and that federal government system has this National Nigerian Film Video Censors Board. And to an extent, they have seen some ill effects of certain things we want to tell. So they'll be like, instead of showing it, tell it. Like right now, I don't know how. Back in the days, when we see film, we see someone wants to put poison for someone, they'll bring it around. It leaves you must have seen a film like that. It leaves the mental picture in your head. I'd be like, oh, they must sprinkle it before it's actually the poison. Why not tell it instead of showing it? So censors will be like, oh, we don't want to see this because it affects people. That's why they made the ban on rituals. But then, I don't think, it depends on how you tell you could tell a story without actually showing something and still tell that story. You can tell it without actually showing, oh, they killed, you've seen a film where they wanted to kill somebody, they just move camera, move head.
Yes.
Let's see here, head is on the ground. It goes, it's storytelling.
You don't need to give all the gory pictures.
You show all the goriness of the whole process. It's not a horror film now, unless you're doing a horror film.
Okay. And we did quite a lot of that back in the day. Okay, let's look at the social media. You know, when you were talking about streaming and YouTube and all of those, I said we're going to get back to that. Now that we have social media platforms and we have a lot of these films, like you rightly pointed out, shown there. We watch quite a number of these films on some platforms, on some people's channels. Do these platforms aid in societal reorientation or dilute the message of the film? Which one does it do?
To an extent, I actually feel most platforms every platform wants to make money.
That's the primary aim.
I think some people might want to make impact, or some people might want to make impact and just without wanting to make impact. Like growing up in the days, we watched the Mount Zion films. So we had a picture of Mount Zion films growing up. Shawu, the gods are created, the gods are dead, and all the rest of those kind of films. They gave us this insight of God being who God is from
Supreme.
their point of view. So everybody's film is coming from that person's point of view. So that's what, at the end of the day, the streamers, the person that is pushing the film out there, it's always their POV. They are showing you their POV. So whatever POV they show us to an extent, it's what they want us to see. It's what they want us to see. That's what they're always showing us. So it's now for us to, but now there are a lot of people that have access to phones, TV remotes, that are not up to a particular age that could just go back and start watching what they're not supposed to watch. So I feel as much as it's understandable, that's where censors board also come into play. They censor film, but most films on those digital platforms, like not when I mean digital, I'm looking at most films on YouTube are not censored, or Facebook contents are not censored. Content creators, the contents are not censored, so they can just, I think it's YouTube that is now trying to say don't do this, don't do that, or Facebook
does.
Yeah, don't post this, don't. They're now trying to censor what people put on their platform because it's their platform. They're trying to create an image of them. So that's what I feel. I feel certain content creators should also be like, okay, this is what I want to put, and that's what they actually do. Some people want to, oh, I'm a comedian, let me just be putting out comedy stuff, like it works best for them. So whatever we see is the person's point of view, is what they want you to see.
Interesting. You talked about censoring certain actions in movies. Let's take a look up on Netflix, this streaming platform. You notice that recently people have really been complaining about about Netflix always trying to infuse, like a gay scene in almost every movie that is on that platform.
Okay. How would my friend call it? There's what my friend always call it. Say the agenda is something like agenda is also, but then I don't think so. You know why I think so? I don't think so. Those films that those kind of things go on in, I feel they are American films, Hollywood films, and to an extent is a culture that most of them have accepted. Okay, yes, they've accepted. Oh, I can now decide that I'm no longer Izoka for a man. I am now. You can now use the following pronouns for me. Them. So it's actually funny, but it's what they've accepted. We can't come and tell our cultural stories right now. Like, as much as I know it's possible, I'm not saying it's not possible. But we can't come and tell our cultural stories right now. And someone would tell me that, oh, it's no longer Okafo and Norma, it's now Okafo and Okonkwo. I'd be like, where did you read it from? Is it from Things Fall Apart?
No, Chicken the River.
So it's not part of our culture. So if we can go tell our own cultural story, I think there is no place to do those kind of mix up in our own cultural stories. There's no place to be.
I know that Nollywood today is not what it was in the early 90s when it started, and it's not the same with 2000, early 2000, late mid 2000, and so technologically we have evolved. I know it's not just for filmmaking. There's been rapid advancement of technology, even in film production. And so some of the tools you have adopted so far, does it enhance the storytelling experience in a way that can lead to societal change? Or does it alter or detract from the core message, the tools you use? Because you're talking about gay and all of those, and you're saying that what we have cannot repair. But let's look at, because some of the tools you use are not made in Nigeria, are not made for Nigeria, or are they?
They're not made for Nigerian. But yes, they're not made for Nigeria. But then, it's actually funny because I think there is a global community. The global community makes stuff for itself. Let's say I go to a restaurant, like let's say in India, I go to Intachosa. Intachosa makes food for the community around it. So I think from my own POV, I would say most of what's available out there are not made for us. Okay, but can we make our own?
We can't. For now.
Can we make? Well, you're talking
about. Do we have the resources for that?
Talking about technology. I feel low. Don't know. So, because cameras are expensive. There are some cameras in film can buy a whole like if you like there's a camera. Okay, let's Alexa Mini LF. That one is like $100,000 or so. You've not talked about the lens.
100,000.
Yes, you've not talked about the lens. Who's okay? Are we, even if we make our own, will we support it? Because
will we patronize it?
Patronize, we'll still go and
buy foreign.
Yes, we agree. So I still prefer, let's keep using what we used to, because no man would go out of their way to invent that camera and someone will come and be telling you that, because the camera is actually made for the black skin.
Oh really?
Okay.
Is that not racist?
It's not like, it's not, you don't blame them.
You can make yours and make it adapt
for black people.
At first, because you remember the age generation of fame, it was black and white.
Yes,
so
black and
imagine
white.
a black person on a black and white screen.
Oh, that's true.
It would have been interesting.
But we're past that era.
Yes, but
now.
then we've passed that era. But then I think the camera now is now adapting, because I feel every camera company now wants to accommodate. But at first, I'm just saying at first, the camera wasn't made for black skin. So right now, I think the camera technology are now being sensitive to the tone of our skin and trying to understand, it's not just Caucasian, there is Negroes, there are those Indians, there are different other kind of colors out there. There's even the red people out there. So why not make a camera that can, with few settings, you can accommodate all this. It gives them better market too. So that's why I think the camera has upgraded them before.
Asaba Nollywood films, let's talk about Asaba Nollywood. Would you say that their film production, I don't know why you're laughing.
He even exclaimed, like an area he doesn't want to go into.
But I'm not going to dive deep into it. But would you say that they create movies from the artistic area?
Okay, yes,
or is for finance?
They're actually artists, so I really like.
Are they?
Yeah, the artists. Artist has there is a different. How do I explain this thing? Most of them, like I did one of the first jobs I did is in Asaba. It was actually my first time filming in Asaba. So I worked with a very interesting director. But then what is there is just that a lot of people are now used to cutting corners in film. We need to shoot this is a script, it's something we need to shoot for 10 days. I said 5 days.
Even 3 days.
You see, so we need to before you're trying to cut all
timeline is a different ball game. You can actually do a film. I've seen films in just a particular location, like the sitting room, the bedroom, and the dining.
Yes, you can be creative. I'm not against. You can be creative with all those things.
Is that creativity?
And have an hour film.
But they do it.
They do it on YouTube these days.
Yeah, I think people because I love it's motion picture for a reason. I love movement in film. most people love movement. I love the film open. I see someone running. I love those kind of films. I don't want to see myself sitting like I'm in a studio now. Yeah, I don't want studio. It's not sitcom again now. We've left Papa Jasco era. So right now I feel film should be creative. Most of them are actually being creative out there. Like most people are being creative, but then it's actually limited on most of them. Is I think if with more funding, a lot of people will do better, and with more education, because the guys in Asaba, including myself, you will not be surprised at the kind of education we have. We did not study filmmaking. Most of them did not study. They just learn from, come and be PA. From PAs, they now upgrade. Come and hold camera. Come and carry sound boom. Like that. So imagine with such just kind of Iba boy in filmmaking,
gain the experience.
Yeah. So what if they now get, because right, I'm going back to school to go and get a PG to do something in film and media studies. So it's because actually, this is a field I will be in for like the next 10, 20 years.
Interesting.
So before I change to it's another thing, but right now, so I need to learn about this.
You're actually a curious being.
Very, very
I want to try things.
No, but for now, I'm interested in films. I want to do films.
Okay, so which ones are to your credit?
Okay, I've done the Nobi streaming on. Okay, let me start from the first film I did. Okay. The first short film I did was Perfect Distraction. It was actually my friend's story. At that time, I just finished learning videos now. I just started production a bit. Like, he just sent the script from. I was learning with him. He sent the script. I'm like, oh, I have the script. Come, let's shoot now. I asked someone there, like, come, because I wanted to experiment. Film is exciting. It's like something is addictive once you start. That's why you see people when they start filmmaking. It needs the Holy Spirit to come and
pull you out.
Pull you out, because film it's exciting. Even if it's taking your mind the next time, you'll still be doing it until maybe it's now frustrates you.
You have to stop.
You don't have to stop or finish your money. But if you have anything to support, you will be doing film. So I did a Perfect Distraction. After Perfect Distraction, we did a ENUGU. ENUGU was the first short film I did. Perfect Distraction was a web series, my friend's story. I was the producer of that particular project. We shot ENUGU in Owerri. ENUGU was about mental health. So it's a film we sent to film festivals. Like, it did so well on some festivals around the world. It's about mental health and how the psychology, mind, and all. It's about that relationship, mental. It's a very short film. Then I did my debut feature film called Dinobi. Dinobi was a story I got in 2021. My friend Clifford wrote Dinobi. Then it was a story about, kind of a bit about his story. So, and I connect to stories like that. I have a lot of stories like that. So when he shared it to me in 2020, I was like, oh, this is really going to film. So fast forward to 2022 ending, I wanted to do my first feature. I told myself, if I don't shoot, because that time I moved to Owerri then, so I was like, if I don't shoot a feature film before this particular time, I'm going to leave Owerri. I'm going to Lagos. I wanted to put myself under pressure so I could do something, because I understand that human beings get comfortable at some point in life. Be like, oh, I don't want to be comfortable at any point in my life. I just need to keep, if it's possible, keep standing, keep moving, keep running. So that was just it for me. So at the time I was talking about, there was zero naira, no budget anywhere. We started developing the story. December, the plan was to film March. Started developing the story, started meeting people, started talking, prepared the pitch deck, whatnot. It seemed January finished, February it wasn't working, March. It was tiresome. I came to ENUGU for the Coast Film Festival, then got inspired. I met my boss then, Mr. Chris Ode. It was exciting. Like, Chris was the person that made me love filmmaking. He's the one that shot Living in Bondage, the Kumbo, Akiabubu, the new ones. So he made me love filmmaking the more. He's someone that anytime I get discouraged, I'll just go and listen to him. But these days I don't get discouraged again. I'm used to discouragement. Discouragement, we are like neighbors, so we roll. We roll. I'll start someone that if I get $1 for every no or rejection,
you would have been richer than Warren.
I wouldn't be worrying about feeding monthly, because they know enough. The dollar will be enough to feed you because I eat 3 times a day. I love it. So like I am used to getting no's, but no is just until you get your own yes now. For every 100 no's, there must be 1 yes.
Okay. In talking about societal reorientation, our time is actually up, but we need to round this off. What is your vision for the future of Nigerian film industry in addressing pressing global issues, societal issues, all of those things, human rights, climate change, the future, other than the entertainment part and the entrepreneurship part?
Okay, this is where I feel the government has to step in. Well, I actually say government has to step in. An individual that wants to spend 10 million, 15 million, 100 million is not doing it because they have 1 billion out there. They're doing it because, as much as I want to create something, I want to make profits. But government, that's why I think when government was doing, there are these BBC stories we listen to on radio and they had story by BBC.
Yeah.
They had the idea, I think it was either an agenda about, they talked about a lot of things. There were a lot of societal issues that we are dealing with story at that point. And the same thing goes to the stories we saw on TV growing up, like the super story. There is something that we're trying to tackle, a moral issue, a societal challenge, or something. So if the government does not support filmmakers and point them towards that line, we are going to be getting more entertainment, and we love entertainment.
So thank you very much for joining us on Signature Evening and bringing entertainment on the show this evening. Yes, we laughed and we kind of looked back with nostalgia where we're coming from in the film industry in Nigeria. Thank you again for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Izoka is a filmmaker, a social entrepreneur, and the convener ENUGU Creative and Film Festival. Maybe we'll have you again and you talk to us about the...
Yeah, it's coming up this
time is up.
November.
Okay, maybe you join us again before November. It's such a long time from now. I think it's about 6 months from now. All right, so we'll observe a short break. When we return, the conversation will take another turn. Stay with us.
We are local.
We are right now with the wife of the man that was...
Why the main market is in chaos. People...
We are national.
Those in support of this motion as amended, say aye. Aye.
We have taken it to by default.
We are international.
Israeli airstrikes.
Donald Trump left us the worst unemployment.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.
Hello, welcome once again to another episode of Chatbox on Signature TV.
The most spoken about. I hope I'm using my English or my language. That is that you can get everything where you want to get. Whether you like it or yes.
Queen, please. Anyway, as you all know, I'm your lovely host, Uchenna, and
of course it's me, your baby girl, Queenette.
Welcome, sir. Let me help you and introduce yourself.
Yes. So yes, in the last episode we still spoke about parenting, upbringing, advice, and
but we focus more on like career and
so right now we're talking about marriage. Very important.
And today we have another interesting guest here with us to
it's very demure and gentle for now. But maybe when the conversation starts, to get to know him more. So over to yourself, please introduce yourself to us.
Thank you, it's my pleasure. I am Reverend Uche Carlo.
You're welcome.
Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're a man of God in our midst.
And we are talking marriage.
Praise the Lord, somebody.
Amen.
All right, so we had a conversation with a guest in the other episode. We spoke about career, parents, advice, parents indicting, parents imposing, their whole take and
their opinions
and all.
Yeah.
So now I want to talk about marriage because marriage is a very sensitive. Not let me sound like a counselor. Marriage is a school.
Yeah.
It's a class. Like
yes, it's a journey.
It's a journey, yes.
Yeah. So
I want to have a conversation with you concerning it because there's this mindset about this generation having cases of divorce.
Yes.
It's as if they don't take the advice parents give them in marriages, and we don't know why. Of course.
Both before they get married and when they are married and everything. So we want to know what you think about that before we.
Thank you. Just as you rightly said, marriage is a school. not just a school, it's just purely a learning center, and no one has ever graduated from it. And marriage, be that as it may, you cannot say exactly what the experience will result to until you get into it. And to me, marriage is more or less a spiritual thing, because you may wish well for yourself, but in the middle of it, you discover that it wasn't what you think or what you thought of that you will now see on board. And to some, it's not working out well for them. To some, it's working out well for them. So, and the Igbo adage says marriage is like a wrap. It's whatever you pick and open it that you begin to see and enjoy.
Yeah.
So that is it.
What's your own problem?
Because what do you mean by it's a wrap? It's what I pick. So it's more like, so I don't have my mind, like, I don't know what I'm trying to mix words right now. You know, you said something about the people that go into, you have the whole good impression of it, and then when you go in, you see something else. So it's more like, oh, I saw something glaring to me. It's very beautiful, and I picked it. You know, and at the end of the day, you open it.
It's giving you. You did not do your assignments well.
Yes.
You did not study well. That's why you.
Even when you studied, the fact that you studied does not guarantee you successful in marriage, because issues and circumstances may come up, things may change, and whether you like it or not, economy may even come to slap
exactly,
you.
that's true.
And the destiny may not be friendly to you.
Yes.
You may have children. I have the experience of a family that had, do I call it an imbecile? And the woman had to leave the husband with that child. So there are all different kinds of experience in marriage which you never thought of its existence. And when you see, you may be thrown off balance.
So okay, no, I just wanted to bring us back to, you know, to now we've talked about like marriage. And no, let's leave Joe, please.
I think
let's just leave Gen Z.
Okay.
Kindly. Thank you. Now, what I want, I just want to know. So, what do you think about parents? You know, kind of giving an opinion as to who their children should marry, or you know, the kind of people they want their children to be with or end up. Like, what's that about?
Well, I have gotten the privilege of counseling some young youths when it gets to the time of marriage. No parent will dream of the child failing in marriage. No parent. And be that as it may, every parent will always advise the child on the way to take so that that person will succeed. But you know, this love of a thing, when it gets into the brain, it can thwart the understanding of someone, and then you'll be bent down on I love her, I love her, I love him. If I don't marry her, I will die. The truth of the matter is that if you are left on your choice, you can go ahead, marry the person, and still die and be alive while you are already dead. Do you understand?
Yeah, you said marriage thing is not the bed of roses, and of course they said you should marry who you know.
When in my understanding, a bed of roses is just to tell you that nothing works until you work it out. It's not something you just come in and start enjoying. Even when you come in and start enjoying, things may change, but you still need to work it out.
First of all,
it can be worked out, like you said. You work it out.
Yes. Yes, you have to work it out. You have to work it out. You know, the Bible told us. The Bible told us that two of them, when they came together, do you understand? They were not ashamed. They were naked, but they were not ashamed. Now, when you talk about that nakedness, it's just about exposing their weaknesses. And they were not ashamed. They covered themselves. You know, some people cannot bear the weakness of the other. and that will make them to expose themselves. But if they are able to cover their nakedness, they will not be ashamed to each other.
But the thing is that parents have, like, just like how when we talked about career and we spoke about how parents have this idea in their head of what they think you should do and what they want you to do, and it's the same. It's very similar when it comes to marriage, because some parents in their head they're like, maybe when they see, or maybe when you bring like maybe a potential husband, or maybe like your fiance or something. They'll first of all, maybe the person, they'll first of all assess the person, and then they'll say, oh, like, maybe when the person goes, I sit there, it's not Guinea, is it this person, and they'll be like, oh, maybe he doesn't suit, he doesn't fit their standard, he doesn't suit, and then they have somebody else.
Yes, because if there's somebody that has the standard
that ticks all their
in-laws they want.
Yes, exactly, maybe they feel like they're on some kind of level, or they're on some kind of pedestal, and they're like, no, this one, no, or maybe no, he's from this place, so no, in our family, we don't marry from this place, we don't,
It's taboo.
And these things are issues actually, because parents, they interfere so much that it's like they want to tell you, okay, this is the person you will marry, is this one.
Their opinions are right, sir. Honestly speaking, parents are most times right. You agree with me, right?
Sometimes right. They are not always right.
Give you that impression that you can actually give it a try, and I mean, as time goes on, you come to them to solicit for advice.
I'm coming to that, but let's hear what you have to say.
In family relationship, it's important that the gap of communication remains very close, so that the parent can be able to be on the interactive aspect of life from time to time. You don't leave your child to keep growing without you visiting his emotion, his interest, his choice, and start working on it. Not to wait till when the person brings someone to marry before you know. It's better you drop the template on the table, so that when that child is growing, he will now say, this is what my parents talked about. If you have a question on the template, you can ask your father, your mother, why do you say this kind of thing? It's a discussion. Pray before the main incident, so that it will not be that you have a negative attachment on this particular person that I brought. Before you bring that person, you must have already run with the understanding that your parent has given to you, coupled with your own choice of a person. Because whether you like it or not, it is better you stay unmarried than to stay in a crisis-filled marriage.
But see, like I always say, parents are not always right, because there have been cases where parents have their choices are even the problem. And then there are also some situations whereby some parents maybe did not like the person that their child wants to marry, and it ended up being a good marriage.
Exactly.
If you ask them, okay, what is it about this person that is
it ended up being a good marriage?
Yes.
You didn't see the tomorrow in that your today, but that your parent once heard of somebody slapping the husband, or a husband slapping a wife, or using their own immediate experience to teach you against that tomorrow you are talking about, which you have not seen. So it is better you use the yardstick of your parents' experience and judge your own tomorrow, because that tomorrow is not reversible. That tomorrow you are talking about.
The thing is that, and I think the thing is that the ideology of parents and the way things used to be for them then and the way things are now is not the same. And I think at some point they find it difficult to understand the way things are now. Now I want to believe that back then, maybe our parents, then they were used to seeing these parents will come. Oh, I have a daughter. Oh, this one will come. Oh, I have a son. Oh, and then they come together. And then the children, as obedient as they are, they don't have a problem.
Family friends.
And then they go ahead with the marriage, and it goes however it goes, whether it goes good, whether it goes bad, that's it. And then when they try to do the same, because you saying your parents, they are seeing something, or maybe it's from their own experience. Quite all right. Yes, some parents have had experiences that they don't want their children to experience. But at the same time, they fail to understand that their children are also human beings with thinking faculty. They know what they want. They have their likes, their dislikes. What you want might not be what your child is wanting or what your child is looking for. The priorities are different. The green flags and the red flags for your child. Don't forget, you and your child, you are not the same. You come from your...
I seriously want to appreciate your level of intelligence. But theory is different from practical. Do you understand? So it is important that every parent watch the child he has and then try to show that child the future that is unknown and prepare that child. And then if that child brings a girl or a young man that said, I am interested in you, if it is possible, the problem we have is that certain parents don't tutor their children when it gets to do about marriage.
Okay, how do you?
Our interest is just to feed them. Our interest is just to train them in school. But we don't have time to talk to them about marriage. And when one is succeeding, it is conclusive. We are succeeding in our marriage. But do you know the character that boy or that girl is going to bring in if they will also succeed? So it is important to prepare their heart, which is the battleground against tomorrow. So all I'm trying to say is that we cannot be sure of tomorrow. And for that, we need to prepare our children so that when we bring in whichever one that is the best match to the other, they will, both of them said, we have decided that this marriage will work. So because the appetite, the interest in ancient time is not the interest, it's not what is obtainable right now. Things are not the same way it is. And knowledge is not the same. And when you talk of bringing two people together, remember they have diversity of character and behavior. Exactly. And so it's not even expected that after marriage, a father or a mother will still come and have influence in a family that is newly built or a couple that is separate, you know, as in marriage, you know. So it is better you prepare them early enough before they get into it. And by that preparation, you'll be able to say, these people, they are succeeding in their marriage. So their son, their child, their daughter will also succeed.
What's guarantee that since this person is from a good family, the marriage is going to have with my daughter?
Okay. Are you telling me if I've not had any bad negative reports from a family, the couple, they don't fight, I don't have guarantee?
That's presumptuous. That's presumptuous.
Even that presumptuous can be a yardstick, of course, you know.
But it is not an accurate yardstick, and it is actually quite not right.
But you said before, what if they succeeded in tomorrow? So it's assumption.
We said it.
Like you said, this person is from a good family. I know the family.
Yes.
And if he marries my daughter,
yes,
their family will definitely be, you know, a good one. Like
a good one.
The question is, what is the guarantee? Because apart from parental upbringing,
are you telling me when they say that this particular family, okay, they are all thieves, they are known for stealing. This one, they are known for mental disorder. They are not yardstick. You just plunge into it. So that you now, they are all part of argument. These are part of reasons parents can tell you, don't go there, don't go this way.
Those are obvious reasons.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Are reasons that can actually be taken up as something serious. And I pity the child that does listen to that.
That is what I'm trying to say.
I'm trying to say now is those parents that actually don't have a genuine reason for telling you who to marry and what kind of person to marry. That is the problem we're having.
No, you can't say that a parent doesn't have a genuine reason.
No, because some don't.
What is not genuine to you may be genuine to another. Do you understand? You cannot have a universal interest. No. You cannot have a universal interest. What is not important to you may be something very urgent for the other. Do you understand? So all we are trying to say is that if a parent has a reason not to allow a child, his or her child, to go this way, you must present that.
So that means the parent does not respect their children's choices and their autonomy. As
if respecting a child's choice is allowing that child to plunge into the dunghill, and the parent will now come back to use his old spinal cord to drive out the child from that dunghill. If that is what we call respect, so be it.
No. It's not about that, honestly. It's not about that. I know that parents have this whole right to be in our marriage, give us the advice and all. But the truth is this, they have this whole mindset of the kind of person they want you to get married to. I think we're even going far to say, oh, mental health, marriage. There are parents that the young lady will bring a guy that is not well to do.
Yeah, it's not from
that chat point on chat box this evening brings us to the end of Signature Evening Tuesday edition. We are also asking that you follow us on all our social media handles as are currently displayed on the screen. We're also inviting you to join you when we return at the same time, same station tomorrow for the midweek edition of Signature Evening. My name is Ngozi Kamba. Thanks again for watching.
And my name is Quincy Roland. Do have a good night first.
when we had opportunity of participating during the midwifing of the two political parties by the military, they gave us logistics, they gave us offices, they also provided transportation, and they also funded the parties. So the only problem that we were manifesting was the issue of the money bags, those who will be influencing the electoral process. So after that regime, it was an open field for people, because looking at our electoral system, the American presidential system is a very corrupt political regime, because the constituencies are larger and the process of selection of the candidates is also very cumbersome, that the parties were managed by people who have no vision of what democracy is all about. They think it's all issue of money and money and money and deployment of the money to produce better results. So if you look at who are the bureaucrats, who are those managing the parties in Nigeria, the people managing the parties don't even know what building a political structure means. They think is just staying in office. I had the minister of FCT saying that the PDP were able to sell, form, and made about close to 14 billion naira, but they couldn't pay ground rent for their property of 7 million. So that shows you the reckless. The party system here is from top to bottom. It's not from bottom to top. The party system we are practicing is not the way the American presidential system run in the United States. So there's no idea. It's all about money, money, and money. So how do you, the average earning of the top civil servants in Nigeria, for you to earn 3 or 4 million naira a year, and somebody will pay 50 million to buy for? Politics is based on constituency interest. It's not based purely on the platform you're running. That will also have some tribute to your success. Let us look at the 3 candidates. 1, where do they come from in Anambra State? Soludo comes from Isuofia. He has only 1 ward in his political parish. The Okachukwu, his constituency, has about 2 wards coming from the neighboring town in the Nnewi. So then the man from Nnewi, who is Dr. Moralo, has close to 20 wards in his primary constituency. Then look at the local government distribution. Soludo comes from Old Aguata, which are 3 local governments. Moralo and Okachukwu, Dr. Okachukwu, are sharing 4 local governments within themselves. Now, Anambra is a place where most of the politicians have no constituency. You have to have a constituency. Where do you think your votes will come from? Is it the youth? Is it the intellectual group? Is it the working class? Is it those who you feel that can do mobilization? Soludo is a governor in Anambra State with less than 115,000 votes, where the registration is about 1.8 million.
Good afternoon, welcome to another episode and edition of E-Vibes, the entertainment show on Signature TV. It's a wet Tuesday. The rain literally started falling from 6 a.m. Yes, I was keeping tabs. But yeah, the weather is cold, not too hot, not too cold. So actually from ENUGU State, I don't know about other states. So this is the entertainment show where you tend to get everything that has to do with entertainment, arts, pop, culture, drama, gossip. We've got it all covered. And of course, I have interesting stories and gists that have been making rounds in the entertainment industry and social media. And I also have a guest who would be having a conversation with us from the world of arts. But first, let's delve into the stories of the day. In a surprising and inspiring turn of events, Nollywood actress Belinda Effa, now known as Grace Caris Bassey, has bid farewell to the screen and embraced a new identity as a United States Navy sailor and citizen. The announcement, shared through an emotional post on her Instagram page, left fans in Nigeria and across the diaspora stunned and proud. Now, known for her standout performances in films like Kokoma, The Banker, The House Husband, Grace was once hailed as one of Nollywood's most promising young talents. She won accolades such as the most promising actress at the African Magic Academy Award and activated a loyal following. But beyond the glitz of red carpets and film sets, Grace nurtured deeper ambitions. Her journey from actress to U.S. Navy recruits is not just a career pivot, it's a powerful story of reinvention, resilience, and purpose. Enlisting in the Navy, enduring the intensity of boot camp, and ultimately earning U.S. citizenship through military service is no small feat. It speaks volume about her discipline, courage, and determination to forge a meaningful path beyond fame. Grace Bold's move places her among a rare group of Nigerian entertainers who have successfully transitioned into entirely new career. Just recently, former actor Maurice Ndubueze made headlines after becoming a medical doctor in the United States. Another powerful example of transformation and self-actualization beyond the entertainment world. As Grace Caris Bassey steps into the new chapter, she carries with her the admiration of many who see her journey as a beacon of possibility, proof that it's never too late to start again and redefine that success, what success truly means. And I'm super proud, even though I'm a bit hurt. I'm super proud, but I'm a bit hurt. It's two things. I'm happy that she She saw another part of her life and she had to pursue it. I'm very happy about that. But you're bidding farewell to being an actress. That's what's making me cry. Because why? Why are you doing that to us? She's not the only person. Morris is not the only person. There's another actress that was one of the pageant queens, and she ventured into army. I actually gave that story last year, towards the end of last year. And I'm wondering, what's going on? And the funniest part is this. They're not switching in Nigeria. They are switching in the diaspora. What does that say to us? Don't worry, keep your 2 cents to yourself, but think about it. All right, these are good people, actors, actresses, and the like. Nobody's saying you can't have diverse, careers and the rest. Nobody's saying that. I mean, we had Jide Kennedy the other time, and he said he wants to try painting. He was once a fashion influencer, now an actor, that he wants to try painting. So the world, the universe is so big, it could accommodate. I mean, even the Bible says, whatever your hands find doing, you do it. And God prospers the works of our hands. And he has given us that wisdom and knowledge to do it. So we're already in the world to go there, pierce through, soar high, and achieve your dreams. But saying farewell to Nollywood, that's the part me, I'm heartbroken. But big congratulations to her, because it's not even easy. It's not even easy going through the whole test, going through the steps, going through the orientation, the boot camp, and the likes, and you're being picked. That's a big one. That's a very big one. Even Morris that got his coat in the medical line, that's another big one. We both know that careers like this, it's not that easy to get it. I know some people will say it's not true. If you have somebody that have somebody that have somebody, and somebody keeps going in line, you can do that. Trust me, there are levels to it. It was sometime last week where I was telling a story about how Fela Kuti got into the music academy in London. They did it not because he merited it, out of pity. We are using these diaspora people to joke. Out of pity. That was why they put him there. He already has the knowledge, he already have the skill, the talent and all for music, but I think they were looking for the whole basics and all, you get? And he wasn't giving in. At the end of the day, I call it grace too for Fela Kuti. It's grace, because it's even very difficult for them to look at you and pity you, especially when you're a black, and allow you to, venture into the music academy. So it's not about knowing somebody and not knowing somebody. Somebody keeps going in line. It's about if you can do it, if you have all it takes to do it. So a big congratulations to Grace. I'm so proud of her, and I wish her the ultimate best. Let's move forward to more interesting stories. Nollywood actress Mercy Johnson Okoje has broken her silence on the health challenges behind her noticeable weight loss, which had sparked widespread concern and speculation online. In a candid conversation with veteran actress Joke Silva, Mercy revealed that she recently faced a serious health scare, a potential cancer diagnosis, which led to her undergoing thyroid surgery. The actress shared that the experience was both physically and emotionally draining, explaining that the procedure and its aftermath significantly impacted her appearance and overall well-being. Her openness has been met with an outpouring of support from fans and colleagues, many of whom praised her for speaking out and shedding light on the often private struggles behind public personas. Now, this before this statement was made, it was sometime that was on Sunday, Saturday, thereabout, and my mom was going through her socials and she saw Mercy Johnson, and she's like, what is wrong with this woman? And me being a not normal citizen of Nigeria and social media user, she's not the only person. I was blunt to my mom that she's not the only person, and I don't know if it's a trend now to lose weight, you know. So she never said the reason why she lost weight. She never told us, and we had this whole perception in our mind because already Mrs. Johnson is beautiful and endowed. What is she? What are you losing weight for? It's not like you have a big tummy, you know. Only for us to realize that she has surgery, thyroid surgery. You know, it takes so much time for people to come out on social media to tell you what they're passing through. And of course, it's whatever they want you to hear that they will tell you. But the way you were shocked is the way I too was shocked. And we've been dragging, we've been shouting, Mrs. Johnson, stop whatever you're taking, stop whatever you're doing. How did you grow from this point to this point? Because it's happened with Vim. We're all surprised. What happened? How did you lose so much weight? And you see people comparing old picture to new picture. This same thing happened to a content creator and / influencer, Celine. She lost weight. You know, and that thing happened when she started, she influenced for a slim tea. So people were wondering if maybe she's taking this slim tea and it's affecting her. Little do we know that she was going through PCOS. And you know what PCOS can do to somebody, the hormonal imbalance, you know, not being a whole lot. What is this trying to say? Let's not drag people when we don't even know the depth of a story. Imagine she didn't come out to say this. We'll keep dragging her. Let's call it spade a spade. We'll keep dragging her. We'll keep dragging Celine. We'll keep dragging what's this other lady's name? They're like three that their weight loss shocked each and every person, and they're not hungry. It's not like they're hungry. So this has to be a point of warning. You know, in as much as, yes, we know that people cannot really leave social media, because some people would say, why not leave social media until you come back to your new self? You still cannot tell people what to do. It's their life and it's their phone. So until they tell you the main reason, keep your mouth shut. Just be concerned. It's very simple. Be fine. I hope you're fine. And if you're taking something to do this, stop taking it. It's affecting you. We, your fans, are beginning to wonder. But I'm happy, and I pray Mrs. Johnson gets well soon. Imagine the mental stress, the physical stress, the medical stress, the whole idea of you wake up every morning and you must take a medication. It's not easy, but much love from here and big hugs from me to her. So let's move forward. Major personality VJ Adams has ignited a new wave of discussion around dating standards, particularly calling out the criteria many men use when choosing romantic partners. In a video shared on his Instagram page on May 19, 2025, the entertainer offered a candid critique, pointing out what he sees as a troubling trend among young men. According to Adams, many men prioritize superficial attributes, especially physical appearance, when selecting a partner, while women tend to focus on more substantial qualities like ambition, integrity, and long-term compatibility. Women are asking questions that matters. What do you do for a living? What's your plan? What's your character like? Adam said. Meanwhile, men are mostly asking, is she fine? His comments quickly gained traction online, sparking a mix of praise and pushback. Supporters commended him for challenging shallow dating norms and encouraging men to resist their values. Others, however, argue that male preferences often stem from biological instincts rather than to lack a depth, whether seen as a wake-up call or a controversial generalization. VJ Adams' remarks have clearly struck a chord, adding another layer to ongoing conversations about modern relationship and gender expectation. So let's listen to what he said in a few seconds.
Alpha, see, young boys, I don't know. Boy, by now, you still don't have sense. But I'll help you. That's why bad boys here. Look at your female folks. Whenever they're discussing amongst themselves and one of them want to introduce the new man she met, the first question they're going to ask is, what does he do? And if they're going to ask for his picture, they want to check if he has asked them out before, toasted them before. But she really boys, idiots ni. Oh, Molly's your babe, she carry Sha all day. Never asking important questions.
So, you know, I don't know how else we should portray this. When we say things like this, you will see comments like, you're a pick me, you're a carry me, you're a, you know, statements like that. Well, I'm happy that it's a man that is coming out to say this. I'm not going to say too much, but he who has ears, let him hear. And at the end of the day, you will see comments like, it's because women are into transaction and they're not into love. That means if you're looking at the physique, like if she's endowed and all that, what do we call you now? Because we were transactional, what do we call them? Those men that look at if the front is big, the back is big, if she's beautiful and all. And the truth is this, whatever VJ Adams said is the truth. His friends would not ask reasonable questions. No. You would not hear things like that. Whatever he said is what they'll be asking. You won't hear things like, what does she do for a living? What's her character like? You know. But another comment that I saw that actually sparked me is, it boils down to your circle of friends. If you have those kind of friends, I'm sorry for you. Those are the kind of things you'll be hearing. But if you have diverse friends, different kind of people, you know, I don't really need to say it. You would hear reasonable questions like, what's her character like? What does she do for a living? Where is she from? Things like that. Does she make you happy? And all. I know they'll say, oh, women are always transactional, you know, things like that. But I mean, that's number one assignment that God gave to you, to be able to provide. I won't stress this. Let's move to the foreign scene. All right, so with My Father's Shadow, Nigeria's first film in the Cannes Film Festival's official selection, director Akinola Davis Jr. wanted to create something deeply personal. He told Reuters on Monday. The film had to mean something to me, to him, which is my brother, to my family, to our community, I guess to masculinity in general, said Davis, about the film competing in the second tier UN certain regarding category that he wrote with his brother Wale. Now, Davis' first feature takes place over one day in 1993, when two brothers, absent father, played by Gangs of London. Star Sope Dirisu shows up unannounced and takes them to Lagos. Their father is there to try to recoup some money owed from his employer as the country is on edge after the outcome of the first elections in a decade under military rule is annulled. Now, newcomers on Real Life Brothers Godwin Ebo 11 at the time of filming and Chibike Marvelous Ebo, then 8, played the young sibling in the semi-autobiographical film that has been picked up for distribution by streamers Mubi. Dirisu, a British actor born in Nigeria, parents said that the film made him take a deeper look on what it means to be a father, as well as how Nigeria fits into his personal identity. Davis' film is one of several strong contenders competing in UN certain regard this year, with actors Harrison Dickinson, Kristen Stewart, and Scarlett Johansson also in the race with their directorial debuts. The Guardian gave My Father's Shadow 4 out of 5 stars, calling it a subtle and intelligent coming-of-age tale. While industry publication IndieWire gave the beautifully remembered drama the grade of B+. Davis hopes the movie inclusion at Cannes will pave the way for more African films at the festival when there is willingness from other areas of the world and points of access. However, those films can come through, he said. But let's take a look at that.
Un certain regard d'Anna Cazeneuve-Tremblay. L'équipe de My Father's Shadow est également sur les marches. Film nigérian présenté en sélection Un certain regard.
You know what? Go and wear your clothes. You are following me to Lagos today.
But Mommy said we shouldn't leave the house. That we should wait for her. Why don't you stay and wait for her? You can tell her I went with Daddy to Lagos, but he puts you in charge.
Hopefully, your mommy comes back before we go. But otherwise, we just have to leave a message for her. Go now. Sharp, sharp. I don't have time.
Let's go.
The story, the genesis of a story comes from my brother writing a short film in 2012, sending it to me and me having a massive emotional reaction to it. And then after the success of our short film Lizard, we knew we'd have the privilege of making a feature, and we really needed to, I thought, to make something that had a sense of urgency and something that meant something to me, to him, to my family, to our community, I guess to masculinity in general, and how you sort of, he became a father during the development process as well, so I think there are also questions that he was asking himself. Yeah, it's also about nationhood. It's about sort of identifying how men in our lives or leaders in our lives can lead us to something more, lead us to a certain sense of potential. And I think what mirrored for the boys and the politics of a time is that Nigeria was going through a time where there was a lot of enthusiasm for this idea of a statesman who was going to lead us to the potential. And I think equally in the boys' relationship, there was this relationship with their father that they would have foreseen that would lead them to an equal level of potential. And both things being so sort of strong and dominant, but equally super vulnerable and super fragile. I think the tensions sort of played off each other really well. My brother would say it's like dreams deferred, it's like promise unfulfilled. And I think that's kind of the thematics that we were sort of playing with in there.
This boy.
For me, practically it was paternal questions and Nigerian identity questions. I'm not a father yet. I hope to be one day, maybe. But it was, I know I have great care and love for my younger cousins, my friends' children, you know, and to perform the role of a father in this film, having no practical experience of it myself, I think was a great challenge, but one that I was looking forward to in the same way I'm looking forward to the challenge of having children in my life one day as well. The relationship that I was able to foster between Marvelous, Goldwyn and myself, I think is very key to the success of the film, and I'm delighted with how successful it is. Those boys were a wonder to work with and taught me a lot about myself, taught me a lot of patience, you know, and also what it is like to nurture humans, young boys especially. And then also there was a question of what it meant to be Nigerian, and especially in that time with a lot of the backdrop of political turmoil in the country, questions about masculinity. There were a lot of things I had to interrogate for the role, but it was exciting.
I feel like African stories are out there. Maybe there is a bit of an access point to figuring out how they can be in more of these spaces. But equally, I think there's a curiosity, certainly from the African side, to work globally. So I think obviously this being a massive global cinema festival, you know, I think when that access point that you speak about meets a certain level of like willingness from other areas of the world, I think those stories can come through. But I do think they exist in the places they are. They just need a different sense of collaboration, because that's what's enabled us to be here.
Yeah, I'm really proud of the way my career is going so far, but collaboration and trust is the only reason that I'm here. So I'm so delighted that I've said it many times, but I'll say it again. Thank you very much for bringing me on this journey with you. And I'm so proud of what we've achieved so far.
Yeah, and just touch on that. I think Shoka's humility is something that's really, it's disarming. I think, like, obviously my first feature, I go into thinking I'm working with someone I've watched on TV, in Gangs of London, throwing people through buildings and stuff, and you kind of like, oh, what's the character going to be like? Is there going to be an ego attached to the situation? But ultimately, I think having him in my life, beyond just as someone I work with, but as someone I can look up to. I might be a little bit older, but I definitely look up to you in terms of how you communicate with people, how you hold space for them, and I think in the process it really means a lot to have someone like that.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, man, love.
Why are you taking that? All your business. Where did you get that from? None of your business. And don't beg me when I buy fan ice.
Are you boys ready?
Yes, Daddy.
That was a proud one. I feel so proud. I mean, Nigerian film is taking pace. Cannes award. We're not just doing good in music, we're doing good in movies too. So we should give ourselves some accolades. Let's move forward. Britain's King Charles and Queen Camilla explored the colorful floral display at London's Chelsea Flower Show on Monday. The royal couple met with the waiting crowds and were given a guided tour. Former footballer David Beckham would also present at the flower show and met with Charles and Camilla. The Chelsea Flower Show is held for 5 days in May and organized by the Royal Horticultural Society. Take a look.
Happy, Ollie? Should we go?
And of course, I was at Burke Hall last summer. You'll be aware, of course. Some of the different parties. Yeah. Well, actually. does smell. Not too Glad to see you. Welcome to Highlow, sir. Unveil the curtain. Very good. Had a long weekend this week. It's a lot of fun.
All right, that's all we have for you in the news segment this hour. We'll go on a very short break and I'll review my guests to you, so stay with us. work. Are you serious? With about blending realism and abstraction through painting. So thanks for joining and welcome to our studio. How is the weather treating you?
Fine.
Hope you're not cold.
No, not at all.
You're fine, right?
I am.
All right, talk to us. You're a painter, but you chose realism and abstraction. So walk us through that in a layman understanding.
Okay. I love painting using a realism style.
Okay.
Yes. And I like using realism when I'm doing portraits.
Okay.
But if it is normal artwork, I would decide to introduce another style, which is abstraction. So that's how my painting normally looks like. Once is portrait, realism. Once is normal artwork, abstraction.
What does the realism mean? Because most of us,
don't know.
We don't know because we are not painters.
Okay, that's depicting something, the way the thing looks like. You have to capture every details, everything that is needed, everything that once the person sees it, the person will say,
even if it's a spot on the face.
Yes, you have to capture everything. That's realism, making the thing look like
a perfect
work.
Are you serious? With pencil and pen?
With pencil and
paint?
Yes.
That's serious. So what about abstraction? What does that mean?
Like, that's what you think.
Okay, from your head?
Yes, like, I want this thing to look like this. Then you have to introduce some certain technique, some certain styles.
All right. Like shapes?
Colors. Like shapes. You can introduce shapes. You can introduce it, and in fact, anything that you just drew is abstract. Once it's not like a real human being.
Okay, we have this artwork here now.
Yes, yes.
So which one? Is this one the one of abstraction?
No, this one is one of abstraction. This one is realism.
This particular one now is realism.
Then you can be
how? Is this a picture of a mom and a child and you just
I decide to. It's not a real picture. Like I try to.
You created it from your head.
Yes. But once you see it, you notice that it's mother and child. At least you can be able to identify that this person is a mother and child. There's one other work there.
Okay. I think they'll bring that up. What about this one?
This one is realism
too.
Yes, a lady reading and at the same time.
So would you permit me to say realism is the normal way of life or lifestyle of a person in painting and picture?
Once you are able to capture the main focus, the main thing that you are being given to is realism.
Nice. I think the next picture might give us something about abstraction because I'm interested in that one too.
Okay. Look at abstract.
Okay.
Did you see how elongated the neck is? And how I try to, position the face and the hand. This is not how
normal neck. Yes.
Have you seen somebody that the neck
No.
So this is an abstraction painting.
Is this an abstraction painting too?
Yes.
Because of the stomach?
Because of the stomach. Can someone bring like that?
You can never tell.
And because of the face. Look at the face. This is not. And look at the neck, and look at the hand. Okay, this is a dancer.
Sorry. For the other artwork, the one that has a long neck, what did you call it? What did you title it?
Okay, like this one, all of them have different titles.
Name, right?
Yes.
Like this one, what did you name it now?
This one, I titled it Dancer.
Just Dancer. Then the other one with a long neck.
Our culture, my pride.
With a long neck, right?
Yes.
Okay, not bad. Then the one of realism, that woman carrying a child, what would you call that one?
That one I called it okay, the one that is carrying joy of motherhood.
Joy of motherhood.
Yes.
Don't mind me, I'm very inquisitive. I love artwork so much. Okay, let's go back. We'll still come back to the artwork. So what actually inspired you to do this? Why did you choose that part?
Okay, like all my inspiration, I gathered it from things happening within my environment, how I see things, how people do their things. So after seeing all those things, I try to put them into painting.
You went to school for it, right?
Yes, graduated from ENUGU.
O'Shea. So that means you study painting specifically.
Yes, that's what I
There's
did.
a whole lot of courses that we don't even know. No, we know there are art courses, but we don't know like there's this specific one called painting.
No, we have in fine art we have several options. Yes, we have painting section, we have graphics, we have ceramics, graphics, textile, all of them
in one fine art.
Yes.
All right. So how do you decide which element of piece for your abstract? I may not know the right words, right? If it's element of piece, now what I mean by element of piece, do you decide on shapes?
Or
let's go with shapes. Do you decide with shapes, colors, the kind of you know what I mean? So how do you do that? Do you draw shapes and you just merge them together and voila, it's a human being dancing or something?
At first, depending on the concept that I want to work on, yes, I'll first of all make a sketch, a thumbnail sketch of how the thing will look like. Then after making it inside my sketch pad, then after making it, the next thing that I will now do is to think of the colors that will go well for it. You understand? Then after thinking of the colors, then before transferring the sketch to my canvas. So that's how I do it.
So what kind of stories or emotion do you use to convey this, especially in realism? What kind of story and emotion? Don't mind me, actually. I know some poets use, sometimes emotions or something that happened to them to, say things, write stories. Now, for artists, I know you guys use emotions, right?
Yes, depending on what you are working on.
Okay, depending on what you're working on. It doesn't come as, it just came into my spirit and you're painting. It
depending on what I have decided to work on. You understand? Every artwork have a story. Every artwork have a meaning. You understand? Before rendering it, you're supposed to have known what you are about to,
create.
Yes, create. Because it's a message that I want to pass to the general public.
But what if, because I said, I thought I needed a hug, but I created this.
Good.
Now, it's permit me to say it's emotions, right?
Yes.
You needed a hug, and you went to your. Maybe she didn't even go to her sketchbook.
Yes.
Do you get what I'm saying?
But
she got the board and she's
yes, that's the mood for the moment.
That's what I'm asking. So, how do you do that? The emotion, do you control it? Like you just said, it has to be in line with what people can relate to.
Yes.
Right? So do you think like your emotions now, someone can be relating to it? Like the one that said she needed a hug, but she noticed that she has to pay.
And she don't have to create it.
Yes.
Well, it's almost the same thing with what the person just said. It's almost the same thing with what the person just said. That he needed.
So you work with your emotions.
Yes, with emotions,
and you create something.
And you create something good.
Nice. So what challenges have you faced doing this? How do you overcome them? Because of course I know painting is. I don't mind learning. Drawing, making an art. She's saying,
It's interesting now.
It's interesting, very interesting, especially when I see painters doing hands like this on the board and all that. Do you get? So what challenges now do you face and how do you overcome them?
The only challenges that I think that I face for now is the price of the way things are getting higher. The way materials are getting higher, the price of it. So that's the only thing that I would say that is the one that is affecting the price of the material. Because once you have enough material, you will be a kind of gingered to produce so many walls. But once you notice that your material is now getting low and you have not achieved what you have in mind, my dear,
so you don't lack ideas, like ideas do not skip from your memory.
Yes, it will skip, but with time you will still recover it.
So long as you have materials.
Yes, once material is ready, thing will come out.
I don't know if I should envy you at this point. I don't know. So how do you make money, right?
Yes.
How do you do it?
Okay. How I normally do is, for now, after producing my work, I market it online.
Okay.
Okay. So I normally display, I mean, on Facebook, WhatsApp and others, in fact, social media. Then for those that are aware that I'm doing it, normally come around and get from
Nigeria. Do you think they have the exposure that they need? Do you think, apart from ENUGU, like IMT has taken over when it comes to permit it? Don't be angry. Don't be angry. You know. Do you think they're giving artists, painters, what do they call them? Name them. Do you think they're giving them that room to go out to the world and explore? I know people buy artwork just to decorate their house and all that. And you most times don't see credit. They don't give credit to artists. So what do you think? Do you think the government should do more? Or do you think they should keep being independent?
No, they should try and do more, because the only people that, for here in ENUGU, the only people that I know that they are really, really trying to encourage artists, these are LinkCAF. There's one, these people, the one organization that they call Life in My City Arts. They have been the one that have been a kind of encouraging young artists. You understand? They are the one that is promoting it, making it look as if it's not, you know, it's not that hard. So I think government should also try and learn from them.
They should be part of
They should be part. They should
work.
Yes.
It's not just music.
Yes,
and
encourage.
movies.
Yes, they should try and encourage. So,
have you ever attended an art exhibition?
Yes, so many of them.
And your art was displayed?
Sure. Was
it bought?
Yes.
How did that make you feel?
Oh God. Very happy. Like,
and they called you and you had to give I don't know how it works, so did you get?
Yes.
Maybe they invite the artist and you tend to give a pitch on the artwork. Do they do that?
Yes, they normally do it. The only thing there is that depending on the kind of exhibition that they are doing, because there's one that they did I've been consigning a sit at home. That's I think I've been last year, ending of last year. That's titled Echoes of Sit at Home. That one is Pitamba, our governor.
That means the government is trying.
For here, he's trying a little, but let him put more effort.
All right. So sorry, don't mind me. Has your style evolved over time? Have you in any time maybe followed trends or changed something, add spice to your artwork?
Trend, spice. The only spice that I know that I add to my artwork is making making my own look different from other people. You understand? Once you see this work, you will be able to say that this is Ogbona's work. Okay. So
I had so much fun with you, Obona, in Kiruka, and I like the fact that you take this whole art thing so into you, in depth, that the only challenge you have is materials not being sold at cheaper rates in Nigeria. So I would give you a very big round of applause, and I'll say you should go to the world and explore.
Thank you so much, Ma.
Thank you for coming. I had so much fun with you. And the show has come to an end. This is where we draw the curtain. Follow us on all our social media platforms. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and join us same time tomorrow for more insights around the entertainment industry. I remain your baby girl, Queenette Wokunta. Enjoy the rest of your day.
when we had opportunity of participating during the midwifing of the two political parties by the military, they gave us logistics, they gave us offices, they also provided transportation, and they also funded the parties. So the only problem that we were manifesting was the issue of the money bags, those who will be influencing the electoral process. So after that regime, it was an open field for people, because looking at our electoral system, the American presidential system is a very corrupt political regime, because the constituencies are larger and the process of selection of the candidates is also very cumbersome, that the parties were managed by people who have no vision of what democracy is all about. They think it's all issue of money and money and money and deployment of the money to produce better results. So if you look at who are the bureaucrats, who are those managing the parties in Nigeria, the people managing the parties don't even know what building a political structure means. They think is just staying in office. I had the Minister of FCT saying that the PDP were able to sell, form, and made about close to 14 billion naira, but they couldn't pay ground rent for their property of 7 million. So that shows you the reckless. The party system here is from top to bottom. It's not from bottom to top. The party system we are practicing is not the way the American presidential system run in the United States. So there's no idea. It's all about money, money, and money. So how do you, the average earning of the top civil servants in Nigeria, for you to earn 3 or 4 million naira a year, and somebody will pay 50 million to buy for? Politics is based on constituency interest. It's not based purely on the platform you're running. That will also have some tribute to your success. Let us look at the 3 candidates. 1, where do they come from in Anambra State? Soludo comes from Isuofia. He has only 1 ward in his political parish. The Okachukwu, his constituency has about 2 wards coming from the neighboring town in Nnewi. So then the man from Nnewi, who is Dr. Moralo, has close to 20 wards in his primary constituency. Then look at the local government distribution. Soludo comes from Old Aguata, which are 3 local governments. Moralo and Okachukwu, Dr. Okachukwu, are sharing 4 local governments within themselves. Now, Anambra is a place where most of the politicians have no constituency. You have to have a constituency. Where do you think your votes will come from? Is it the youth? Is it the intellectual group? Is it the working class? Is it those who you feel that can do mobilization? Soludo is a governor in Anambra State with less than 115,000 votes, where the registration is about 1.8 million.
The only way to cure crisis in Nigeria is to get a government that will think of getting a policy that will take us from consumption.
Hello, it's Friday night, and this is Full Day, your late night show. I'm Vin Martin Obiora Ilo. Tonight on the show, we'll be looking at the local government as a platform for the engagement of the grassroots. Our guest is the chairman of Ojeriva local government area of ENUGU State, Greg Anyebudike. Greg, before he became chairman of the local government, was a consultant for the World Bank. At some point in his career, he was the managing director of the ENUGU State Waste Authority, ESWAMA. Greg, you're welcome to our show.
Thank you.
Well, we'll be back with you, but let me also remind our viewers that Chi Edozie Nwoye, who is a chief basketball coach in ENUGU and also the deputy coach of the Nigerian basketball team, will be speaking to us about harvesting positive youth energy through sports. Greg, welcome again.
Thank you very much.
You know, tonight